It was the 1-2 punch that crippled an island.
Catastrophic damage in Puerto Rico.
Hurricane Irma, followed by Hurricane Maria. Maria, its 154-mile-per-hour winds battering the island, flooding homes, leaving millions of Americans without adequate food, water, or electricity in Puerto Rico.
There's debris all over the city.
This is the biggest catastrophe in Puerto Rican history.
What's out there is total devastation, total annihilation.
Now, 110 days later, much of the island still trying to recover. My sister and I traveled to Puerto Rico, along with her boyfriend, Alex Rodriguez.
I'm a little bit scared to what I'm gonna see.
Trying to assess where help is still badly needed.
There's tons of houses with no roofs. They're all blue. They all have the FEMA tarps on them, and they're everywhere. There's so many people still without a roof.
For us, this journey is personal. Our parents were born and raised in Puerto Rico.
I've always felt a strong tie to it. It's like when something happened to Puerto Rico, it happened to me. It was important for us to follow up and come down here and see with our own eyes how things were going, what else we could do, where the help was needed.
One of the areas where help is most needed, power. Officials say about 50% of Puerto Ricans are still without electricity. That loud, constant hum of generators that are powering so many of the houses that still don't have electricity.
Puerto Rico is part of America. Everyone you see is an American citizen. That's an important fact, and it cannot be overlooked.
From the moment the storm hit, Jennifer and Alex have been fighting for the island.
Tonight we are here as one voice.
Wanting to help however they could,
Let's get loud.
Jennifer and Alex rallied other performers and friends to host a special concert called One Voice, Somos Live.
I called everybody I knew and I said, please come out, please lend your voice, lend your talent. Let's try and raise some money.
They raised $25 million for the relief effort. This trip, a start to allocate funds to some of the island's most devastated residents.
We're here again to remind people here that this wasn't a one-day show and this wasn't a concert. We're here because we care about them. We want to hear them. We want to meet the people, talk to them.
Their words put into action here. One of the first stops, the home of 77-year-old Porfirio Torres in San Juan. The home of this man, still with a hole in the roof. We've got one of the blue FEMA tarps that's covering this opening right here. He has no front door. His door has blown off. It's actually leaning right here on the wall of his home. He's overcome with emotion after learning some of the relief money raised by Jennifer and Alex will help to rebuild his roof.
Y no estás solo.
What does it feel like to know that you can do that for him?
I mean, you know, it's funny, you do what you can and you hope it's gonna help.
The mayor of San Juan, Carmen Yulín Cruz.
If anybody out there is listening to us, we are dying.
Has been a voice for the voiceless, suffering here since day one. Cruz was highly critical of President Trump after he threw paper towels to people during his one visit to the island.
He was insulting to the people of Puerto Rico.
You can never be inside someone's head and know what their intentions are, but at the end of the day, I feel it could have been handled with a little bit more tact. It was a disappointing visual to see. You can't clean this up with paper towels.
More than 3 months after Trump's visit, the mayor is still frustrated by what little progress has been made.
In the house that we're in, we haven't had energy since Irma. So the world counts from Maria, but we count 2.5 weeks earlier than that. And even if when the roof gets placed in here, he won't have any energy.
Many of the homes in this neighborhood are still surrounded by polluted water and downed power lines. The residents tell us that those blue FEMA tarps represent a lackluster response on behalf of the federal government.
About 500,000 homes have been partially or completely destroyed. So there's a lot to do, but I should say that my main concern is with Congress right now. There needs to be some action taken.
Puerto Rico's governor, Ricardo Rosselló, is now pleading for Congress to send more financial aid.
We're asking for them to consider Puerto Rico to give us the proper assets so that we can rebuild properly.
But even Puerto Rico's own local government has been accused of falling short for not being able to provide an accurate death toll. Their official report states that 64 people have died, but some media outlets, like the New York Times, have done their own investigation and have found that the death toll may be well over 1,000. I know you've put together a commission to find out a true death toll that would have been the result of Maria. What do you believe that is right now?
I want to leave that to the experts. The way we did it from the onset is that we took notice from the doctors, right? We got the death certificates. If the doctor said they were natural causes, I mean, we had to sort of abide by that. But we took all of the death certificates and we asked our team to call back the doctors. And even if they said natural causes, we wanted to recheck if that was the case.
Jennifer and Alex's next stop is to a women's health center, responsible for delivering hundreds of babies after Maria.
Pregnant women were out there without the care that they need because the lack of electricity and the lack of power and water. So all the offices were shut down.
Access to equal health care is a cause close to Jennifer and Alex's hearts. They've allocated $2 million of the funds raised to different health centers across the island. Does the center have everything it needs since the hurricane?
Well, of course. See, we're in the process of having everything.
Yes, in the process, yes. One of the midwives at the clinic, Rita Aparicio, tells us she hasn't had power in her home since Hurricane Irma. We go home with her that night, and the reality of the storm hits even harder. If you look way up here, there are actually light bulb sockets that would light her porch outside. She tells us that the light bulbs were blown right out of the sockets during Maria. Inside, her home is completely dark. Rita must carry light around with her and light candles to see. And that's when the candles come in handy.
Right.
We were seeing how incredibly pitch black it gets here in El Yunque. So, are you scared at all to come home? You're not. Why?
Never scared. I have been living here forever. I know my neighbors. They take care of me too.
What are the residents here hearing from the government or from the local municipalities about you will have power back and it'll be at X time?
No. They say, in the beginning they were saying January.
Right.
Then now it's March. And then other people say May.
It's clear that there's still so much more progress that needs to be made here.
At the end of the day, there's no question that they've taken a massive heavyweight punch, because you cannot deny that. But there is no question that these people are fierce and they will come back bigger and better than ever.
Across the island, that spirit of hope and resilience reigns true. So, in one word, what's your emotional state at the end of the day after meeting all these people and seeing what you've seen?
I'm hopeful. I feel hopeful. I feel that they gave me hope.
For Nightline, I'm Linda Lopez in Puerto Rico.